All right, I'm recording to the cloud, you guys. At work, we have to let everybody know when we're recording so that they are comfortable with that. So I am recording you all, and I will share my screen again. Okay. Can you all see the presentation? Awesome.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, I am super excited to have you all a part of our 28-day nutrition and fitness challenge. The start date, even though we're doing the kickoff today, the start date will be on Monday. We wanted to give you some time to look through your books, ask questions, go get your groceries, meal prep if that's what you choose to do. So that you can be ready to rock and roll. Some of you get that last little goodie in, but to be able to rock and roll on Monday. And it will go all the way through May 15th. What you see on the screen right now is just the agenda of the different items that we will talk through over the next few minutes. All right, so as we begin to go into this challenge, I'm sure, like it was for me, because I've done a challenge too when I first came to the gym, a nutrition challenge when I first came to the gym. You know, what should I focus on? Because there's so many things, right, that you can take on. And you'll hear, you've probably heard me say it. If you haven't, you'll hear it today. You'll hear me say it again after today. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So there's many approaches that you can take, and you may want to know, well, what is that bite that I should focus on? What is that one thing or those 2 to 3 things that I should focus on? Because we're going to be giving out to you different resources and tips along the way. If you can focus on a couple of these things, you are doing well. You don't have to do everything, but just thinking about, what can I focus on right now? What are those 1 or 2 things that I can really hone in on? So think about how you're eating. Are you eating 2 to 3 hours a day? And it does, when we say 2 to 3 hours, it doesn't mean that you're eating huge meals, right? It's some snacks in there. You want to constantly fuel your body. That's how your metabolism begins to work and speed up. You want to constantly fuel your body throughout the day so your metabolism can constantly work and constantly burn those calories. Think about, how are you eating? Are you eating a balanced meal? Are your snacks balanced? When we say balanced, we're talking about those macros, those carbs, those proteins, those fats. Are you including all 3 of those in each meal? Maybe your thing is water. You're not drinking enough water. The goal is 80 ounces a day, right? So is that, something that you can focus on? Think about, when do you work out? How are you going to eat to fuel that workout? Are you working out in the evenings? How are you eating throughout the day? What is that meal that you're going to eat prior to that workout, so that 1, you have the fuel for your workout, but 2, you don't want something sitting heavy on your stomach and it has a negative effect to your workout. If you're working out first thing in the morning, like myself, think about, do you need something prior to? Do you need to get up a little bit earlier to get something in your stomach? Or do you want to work out on fasting? Just think about that time of day that you work out, and it's going to be different for all of us. And then, how are you eating around that time? Eating out. We all do it, right? It's, how often are you eating out? During these 28 days, is that going to be a goal to kind of cook more at home? And if you do eat out, what does that look like for you? Tracking your food in the MyFitnessPal. That could be your focus, right? We want to make sure, the reason why we have you track is twofold. 1, so that we can see what you're eating. That allows us to provide that individualized coaching, right? To give you that feedback specifically for yourself. But also, it allows you to be mindful. Sometimes we have a good idea or we think we have a good idea about that food that we're intaking. But when we actually see it on paper or in the app actually written down or spelled out for us, it's like, either I was overeating or under eating, or maybe I was eating, I'm not eating enough protein. So that consistent tracking so that you can get a good idea of what you're actually intaking and then make those tweaks along the way. And then lastly, focusing on quality versus quantity, right? Especially when you're thinking about those 2 to 3 hours a day, like, oh my gosh, can I really eat that amount of food? It's not even so much how much you're eating, but the types of things that you are, the types of options that you're choosing to feed your body. So these are the things that you should be focusing on. And I don't want you going back to that, how do you eat an elephant? I don't want you to think that, I got to take all of this at one time. Think about those 2 to 3 things that you're just going to start off with focusing. Where are those quick wins for you? Okay, so let's take each one of these at a time, starting with goal setting. We talk about goals because goals are important. How do you know if you've accomplished something? How do you know if you've reached those goals? What is it that you're trying to measure? What is it that you're trying to achieve? We talk about SMART goals in terms of something being specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive, right? We are very big on writing that down, posting it somewhere so you can have that visual of what you're trying to achieve, and then being consistent in working towards it. And of course, making that a priority of yours. Okay. When you're thinking about your goals, it's important to think about the why. Why is it a goal? What is motivating you? What is that motivating factor for that to be your goal? Let's be reasonable about it, right? Is this something that's really attainable? What's really that motivating factor behind that being your specific goal? Being realistic. If I say that in these 28 days, I want to lose 50 pounds, that may not be realistic in 28 days without me doing something truly, truly drastic, right? But what is something that I can actually achieve? Okay. And being consistent, that's going to be the biggest key, right? When we choose that goal, when we set up those action steps, we want to make sure that we're consistently doing it throughout the 28 days and beyond, so that we can constantly chip away, to getting to that goal. And then, of course, Rashawn and I are going to be here to hold you accountable. And hopefully, as you all begin to bond, that's the hope, right? Through this group nutrition, you guys can motivate each other and hold each other accountable as well. All right, so this is where it's your turn. So if you have your book, if you open up to page 2, we do have a goal setting page. I do want you to just kind of take a minute to think about two goals that you have. One being that short-term goal that you want to accomplish in these next 28 days. Okay. And then the second goal should be a long-term goal beyond the 28 days. These 28 days is going to be that jump start, right? Getting us started, dialing into our nutrition, making it a focus and a priority for us right now. But beyond the 28 days, for the next 6 to 12 months, what is that long-term goal? As you're thinking about your goals, why is that important to you? So if you can just take a few minutes to write that down in your book. And once you have that written, I want you to think about those action steps to helping you achieve that. Okay, what are those action steps? Is it coming to the gym or working out? three times a week? Is it, you know what? I'm going to focus on the water. So remember, going back to the things that you should focus on. You know what? I'm not drinking enough water. Let me focus on, getting those 80 ounces a day. Is it, you know what? I haven't done a really good job with including all of my macros, proteins, carbs, and fats. What are those steps that you are going to take? And you can just write down too. And I'll give you guys a minute to kind of write that down. I always like to put it as what does success look like for you, right? How will we know at the end of these 28 days that you were successful? So of course it needs to be something that's measurable. What I would like for you all to do is, once you've written those goals down, if you can take a picture of that page, and in the app, the direct messaging icon in the lower right-hand corner of the app, if you can send a picture of your goal sheet to Rashawn and I, because we're going to hold you accountable, right? So, but we need to know what your goals are, and we know that's going to be different for every single person. So write that down, take a picture, upload it to the direct messaging to Rashawn and I for us to review. Okay. So what are some of the basics, right? Real food over product food. We want to minimize the amount of processed foods that we are eating. What does that mean? We're probably going to have to cook a little more, right? If we're in the habit of purchasing out or purchasing food out, we're probably going to have to cook a little more, getting some of those whole foods, a little bit more whole foods. It may require cleaning out that pantry, cleaning out that refrigerator. I think I talked to someone yesterday, and they got rid of all the junk, right? out of their pantry, and they were like, you know what, I'm ready to start Monday morning. But it took kind of cleaning some of that out, cleaning that temptation out. Progress over perfection. We are not looking for perfection. If any of us was perfect, we would not be here, myself included, right? So we're looking for progress. So just take that out of your mind that you have to do this perfectly. There's no perfect way. We just want to make those changes, because remember, we're focused on lifestyle changes. So how do we make those lifestyle changes? Making progress a little at a time. Looking at your food labels, right? Those nutrition facts on the back of your food, looking at how much fat is being included, or what percentage of fat is actually in that product, how much added sugar is in that product. So we're looking beyond carbs, proteins, and fats, but what is that extra stuff? And then looking at those ingredients. What's key is those first three ingredients is going to let you know what's in that. What are those main things? They put it in the order of what's the main ingredient. So if sugar is in those top three, probably not the best option, right? So start looking at those food labels. And again, Rashawn and I are here to support you with that along the way. And then the plate method, following the plate method. And we'll talk a little bit more about the plate method as we go along, but it's that half a plate is your favorable carbs, your vegetables, a quarter of your plate being your protein. And then if you must have that starchy or carb, limiting that to a quarter of your plate. Now, Coach Rashawn is not sitting next to me today, but she is on the phone. And so, Rashawn, do you have something to add here? or even any of the stuff that we've been talking about so far?
I don't. I think you covered the basics of it so far.
Okay, please join
You're
in.
doing a great job.
I
Oh yeah.
apologize because you are here.
Oh yes. No, it's okay.
Right. So getting into those macros, and you'll hear the word macros, but essentially all we're talking about is carbs, proteins, and fats. Your plate, your meal, and then ultimately your day should consist of 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. Okay. Each meal. Okay. Each snack. Um, that is how you create that balanced diet. And the reason why we want a balanced diet of all three macros is because each one of those macros serve a different purpose. So starting with your protein should again make up 30% of your meal. Your protein is going to helps your body with its structure. It definitely for those who are working out a lot, and I think that's everybody, right? We're working out. We want our body to be able to recover quickly so that we can get back into the gym, or just recover quickly so that we can move and function and not be so achy, right? Protein aids in that. So you want to make sure that you're getting enough protein. It helps with your immune system health. One thing that I have seen just through my experience, just talking and working with the nutrition clients, is a lot of us don't get enough protein. We think we are, but we don't get enough protein. So it'll be really interesting as you guys begin to track your meals to see, are you getting 30% amount of protein daily? And that may be something that we may need to tweak a little bit for you to make sure that you're getting that. But one way to do that is making sure that it's included in every single meal, including your snacks. Okay. When we're eating our protein, so that it stays at 30% and doesn't jump to 40 or 50, is we want to go with our lean proteins. Okay, so that's going to be your chicken breast. That's going to be turkey, egg whites. And then some fish, right? I think a lot of our fish is pretty lean, but you want to keep it lean. You want to not fry it, right? So if you have an air fryer, that is really good. If you grill it, bake it, broil it, are going to be your better options for your protein. Rashawn, anything to add?
Yes, I will add if we have any vegetarians or vegans
Thank you.
in the group, we can tweak it to where we can get that protein. So I know with the vegetarian or the vegan diet, sometimes it's a little bit harder or a little bit challenging to get in that.
Uh-oh, we lost you. Okay, Rashawn's driving, so we lost her audio. But yes, I'll just pick up where she left off. Thank you. That's a great call out, Rashawn. Protein does not equal meat. It does not mean. Rashawn, it's the audio. It's going out. Okay, we don't hear her anymore. Okay. Rashawn, we can't hear you. So I'll pick up where you left off. So protein is not equivalent to meat. Meat is just one of the protein, is a type of protein. But there are other proteins, legumes, beans, some of your vegetables like broccoli is very high in protein. Oatmeal has a good protein content. So if you are a vegetarian, or if you wanted to have a more plant-based diet, we can definitely work with you to make sure that you're getting enough protein. Okay. I'm sorry, Rashawn, your audio is going out. And I think we had somebody in the chat. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so just if you're a vegan or vegetarian, we can definitely help you with that. I think I was wrapping up with that.
Okay, perfect. Okay, carbs. Carbs are not just your rices, right? Your rice, your pasta, your bread. Those are the carbs that we want to limit. But carbs is also your vegetables and some fruit, right? Or all fruit, actually, but some fruit falling in those favorable carbs. And so we want to lean more to the favorable carbs. Carbs are our main source of energy. That's fueling us, right? That's fueling us throughout the day. It's fueling us in those workouts. You need carbs. You just want to choose the healthier options of carbs, those vegetables, some of those fruits. And then you have those complex carbs that are necessary, right? So that you can have enough fuel to do your workouts. You just want to be careful with how you're choosing that. And you can even see in the middle section, those complex carbs that we would lean more towards, like the brown rices and the quinoa oatmeal. Okay. If your body does not get enough carbs, it will take your fuel from the protein. But remember, protein has its own job. So you don't want it to have to take it from the protein. You want to make sure your body has enough carbs. So it's finding that healthy balance. Again, it should be 40% of your diet throughout the day. When you're looking at your fruits, you want it to be low in sugar. Berries are some of my go-tos because it's going to be lower in sugar. But then when you think about a banana, which I think, for the most part, I hear that being a part of a lot of people's diet, banana is very high in sugar. Watermelon, very high in sugar. So we have a food option guide, and we'll get to that. And that can kind of show you where they fall. And you want to stick to more of those favorable carbs. Going back to the plate method, those non-starchy favorable carbs should be half of your plate. Rashawn, do you want to add? Here. We will go on to our fats. Fat, get a bad rep, right? Stay away from fats. Well, actually, you need fat. You need fats in your diet. That is a macro. You just want your healthy fats, right? We say healthy fats. I like to look at them as your plant-based fats. You can even see in this diagram some options, right? Nuts, nut butters, olive oils, olives, avocado. Those are going to be your plant-based fats. The ones that we want to limit is that butter, right? That grease, things saturated fat that's found or in trans fats that are found in those baked goods and those chips and things that we crave. Fat is important, right? Its use in our brain function, in our nervous system. It also helps our body to absorb those fat soluble vitamins. We need it. Okay. So not only do we need it, it needs to be included in every single meal, just like your protein and your carbs. It should make up 30% of your diet. And when I say diet, I'm talking just your food, what you're intaking. It's not hard for it to make up 30% because fat contains 9 calories per gram. So that's why we want to get our healthy fat so that it doesn't spike up really, really fast. You'll notice with the plate method here that there's not a spot for fat. We're not calling out fat and putting it on the plate because a lot of our protein is going to have fat content. Also, the way we prepare our meals, if we're cooking with olive oil or avocado oil, grapeseed oil, any of those different oils, we're adding the fat back in as we're preparing that. So no special section for fat. We just want to make sure that, say, salad is our meal for the day, for lunch, right? We can add fat by adding olives to our salad or adding avocado on our salad. Or when we talk about dressings, adding an oil-based vinaigrette. That's adding the fat back into that salad so that you can make sure that you're having a complete meal. Rashawn, you want to add anything? And you're a mute if you want to add. Okay, we'll keep going. Okay, so we do have a food option guide that can guide you. Rashawn is going to add that, or we'll add that to the group chat. However, if you would like to a hard copy, we have a hard copy. What I'll do is I will leave it in the room where you all got measured, and you can pick up one. I have this on my refrigerator. Green means good. Green means this is what you want to eat. Yellow are the things that you want to eat in moderation, and red are the things that you want to limit. So we have it broken out by macro, the top section being your protein, the middle section being your carbs, and the bottom section being your fat, right? And we're saying of your proteins, green section, this is the ones that you want to eat majority of the time. Does that mean you can't have bacon because it falls in the red category? No, that does not mean that at all. We're just saying, hey, limit bacon, right? Let's not eat it daily. Let's maybe once a week. Or is there a healthier option? Canadian bacon. I know it's not the same thing, but it's a healthier option. And Canadian bacon happens to fall in the green section. Lastly, at the very bottom, there are some foods that are what we consider combinations. They include more than one macro in it, like an egg, right? Your egg contains protein, and that yolk has that fat in it. So if you're eating a whole egg, you're getting both protein and fat. So what's missing? Carbs. So we still have to add a carb to that meal if we're having a boiled egg or scrambled eggs for breakfast, or even as a snack. We need to make sure that we're still getting that carb in there. Okay, so these are available. Again, we're going to download or upload, I should say, a electronic guide in the HSN app, so that you guys can have an electronic guide, but also we have some hard copies that you guys can pick up right out of this room to allow you to put it on your refrigerator. Also, if you're like meal planning, right, for the week, or meal prepping for the week, you can, hey, let me choose something from my protein section, choose a couple things from my carb section, and then making sure I'm including fat in that meal as well. So, okay. Reshaping your plate. When we talk about plate method, we are literally talking about half of your plate being those non-starchy carbs, your favorable carbs, a quarter of your plate being lean protein. And then if you must, that's the optional section, right? Have a starchier carb limited to a quarter of your plate. What does that actually look like realistically too? Is you can use your hand, right? To measure that, or to kind of give you a visual of what that looks like. So for our vegetables, 2 fists, that's how much. So for those of you who don't really want to weigh your food, and you don't have to, there's no requirement, 2 fists will equal up how much vegetables you should have on your plate. When it comes to protein, females, the palm of your hand, men, 2 palms, okay? When we talk about carbs, if we're talking about starchy grains, right, then you should cup your hand, and it's really half of your palm. And for men, it's the whole palm of a cup, right, when you cup your hand. And then your fat. So when we're talking about eating peanut butter, which I absolutely love, or we're making a vinaigrette that we want to put on our salad, our thumb. For women, men, you get 2 thumbs. Your hands are always with you, right? So you can use your hands as a guide when you're eating out, even when you're making your plate at home, or just having that visual of what the plate method looks like. Okay. Meal prepping, something that I do consistently. Is it a requirement? Absolutely not. Is it helpful? Absolutely, right? And you can even see with these options here how the vegetables are really making up a big portion of those meals. Um, Meal prepping will, like, especially if you're busy, you have a week, working and everything, figuring out that day that you can go shopping, and then what day can you dedicate to prepping. Um, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Prepping, cooking can take a few hours, but do you want to pay on the front end? Do you want to pay on the back end? Yes. So for me, I shop on Saturday. That's my shopping day. Sunday is my cooking day. And then guess what? The rest of that week, all I have to do is pull out that meal that I'm eating until I get back to Saturday, right? And then I shop, I cook. That's my routine. Um, Everybody's routine would be different. You have to look at your own individual schedule and see, hey, what day can I dedicate to shopping? What day can I dedicate to cooking? If meal prepping is not your thing, just preparing. Preparing is sitting down. You can pull out your food option guide, kind of write down, hey, what are going to be our proteins this week? What are our 2 proteins that we're going to cook for this week? What are going to be our vegetables? And actually coming out with that menu. If you have children, include them in it, right? We have some new ongoing nutrition clients that they sit down with their kids and say, okay, hey, what are our proteins going to be this week? And they put their meal together and then they place it on the refrigerator. So everybody knows what the menu is going to be this week, but including the family helps them to helps to hold everybody accountable and everybody's on board. Processed foods. We are definitely going to try, right, to limit these. Processed foods, if you're questioning what is processed, basically everything in the middle of the store, right? So when you go shopping, think about the layout of a grocery store. On the perimeter is where we really want to shop, right? If you think about the perimeter, that's where you're going to find the vegetables. That's where you're going to find your protein. You're going to find your fruits. The middle of the store, all the packaged stuff, right? That's the things that you're going to really want to stay away from, limit as much as possible. Now we're thinking realistic. Does that mean that you're not going to ever have anything that's processed? Absolutely not. We're just saying, let's not make it be the majority of what you eat during this time. And not that I'm saying during this time, because we're doing the 28-day challenge, but this is like long term. Those are the things that you want to limit. Okay. The question comes up, frozen vegetables. Frozen vegetables are just as good as fresh vegetables. Now, when I say frozen vegetables, I'm not talking about the ones that, they say that it's in the garlic butter sauce, right? But just the vegetable in and of itself. I think it just really comes down to convenient. So maybe having those fresh vegetables is not convenient for you in terms of time, right? You can have, and I had to do that this past week because of my schedule. I had to just buy a couple of just frozen vegetables that I could just pop in the microwave and steam, because I knew I had a week where I was not going to be able to get to the store and do my fresh vegetables the way I like. So just know that that is an option. And you're getting the same nutrients. Some of our healthier options. And these are just some options on the screen here, and we can, send this visual out to you all. Rashawn is really good at finding healthier options and providing that to the group. Primal Kitchen is a really good brand for those dressings and mayos that has, it's made with avocado oil and those healthier fats. So Primal Kitchen can be found in Whole Foods and Sprouts. I love Sprouts. It also can be found in Kroger. So you can find Primal Kitchen. Again, that's going to be for your mayos and your dressings. Siete. absolutely love. So if you like tortillas, making tacos, having tortilla chips, they just actually started making a kettle chip, healthier option, right? They make their food with almond flour, some of those cassava flour. Again, you can find those in Kroger, and you can find it in Sprouts. Rayo's, great option for um, spaghetti sauce. They also have the actual noodles as well. Um, you can read the ingredients, natural, healthy, whole food ingredients. So much so that if you open a jar of that, you probably just need to cook it all, because it's not going to last for a week in your refrigerator, because it's just that fresh of ingredients that is actually cooked. Because I tried that. My son prefers Prego for himself. Prego can sit in my refrigerator like an open can of Prego. I used a little bit and finish it all. Can sit in my refrigerator for weeks and it still is good. Rails, I can't even do that for 7 days. You got to toss it. It will make you sick. But that just goes to show how healthy of an alternative it is. Cooking with the coconut aminos as opposed to soy, another great substitute. Simple meals. If you are a cookie person, cracker person, they have a lot of options. You can find those at Kroger. You can find it at Sprouts. You can find it at Whole Foods. I will say a lot of options, and the options are going to vary depending on the store, because they sell to their clientele. So feel free to kind of venture out and see the different options for those crackers and cookies. And also, if you like to bake, they have the actual mixes that you can use to actually bake your own muffins and things. Something else that's not on here, for those people who like bread and don't want to eliminate it totally out of their diet, there is it's slipping my mind and it's on my counter right now. Dave's Killer Bread. Dave's Killer Bread, a healthier bread option. You can find that at Walmart. They have bread, they have hamburger buns, they have bagels and English muffins, a healthier option. Now, even though it's a healthier option, it's still bread. Do I want to eat it every day? Absolutely not. But it's an option for bread when I need it and when I want it. If you need some additional options, just reach out to us. Like I said, Rashawn is really good with uncovering some of these options. She's definitely exposed me to a lot of different things that are out there. Hydration is important, just as important as the food options that we are intaking. The goal is to do at least 80 ounces a day. We are going to ask that you kind of measure and see where you are so that you can, make that target eventually to be 80. Because if you're at 32, are you going to have 80 tomorrow? Probably not. You're probably going to have to work up towards that 80. But yeah, measure your drinks. If you have, can you pass me that? I want to show you guys. If you're that bottle of water. If 16-ounce bottle of water, this is just a standard, right? 5 of these is 80 ounces. All right. So think about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you're having, those are your main meals. If you drink one with every meal, you're already at 3. You only got 2 left. If you drink one when you're out here working out, or, whether it's boot camp or it was walking, running, if you drink one with your workout, there's another. So now we just got to get one more in. Maybe that's when you wake up in the morning. But 5 of these is 80 ounces. I don't have it with me, but I have a little jug that gives me 32. And so, and it tells me, each hour of the day. I have apps. If you guys, I had to start out with an app. I can share that with the group if you need help being reminded to drink your water. There's different little tricks that you can psychologically, get there when drinking the water. But the water, 1, hydration, right? But then 2, it's going to help with that digestive, with your digestive system and moving that food through. Okay. Water is just as important with the food option. So we want to make sure that we're getting it. 80 ounces at the very least is the goal. Some of the questions that come up is, what if I have tea? What if I make coffee, right? Because we're making that with water. When we say 80 ounces here today and for this challenge, and just in general, we're talking about just pure water. Okay, so it's great. You can have your tea, you can have your coffee, but then also make sure that you're having 80 ounces of just pure water throughout the challenge. Rashawn, do you want to add anything? All right. The HSN app. So hopefully you all have gotten the email about the app and that you've had an opportunity to download it. In the HSN app, this is the way that, this is what we see, right? So all of your information that with your tracking in the MyFitnessPal, that information is going to flow over to the HSN app. For us to be able to see, are you eating that 40, 30, 30? Are you getting as close to that as possible? What are those items that you're choosing so that we can make recommendations and show you how to change those different tweaks, okay? HSN app is also where we are going to communicate to you. You have the little icon in the bottom right-hand corner for the direct messaging from you to Rashawn and I, but also you have all been included to a group. And so on that dashboard, you'll see a little square with an apple. That's the group chat. This is how, we're going to have those group chats. We'll send information out to you. The food option guide will be uploaded there. This is where, we're going to be having group chats each week. We welcome you to participate in that. And then also starting Monday, there's going to be some other resources, some videos released in there as well. So make sure you have the app downloaded. Make sure that it's connected to MyFitnessPal. If you have any issues getting it connected, Rashawn and I are here throughout the week. Just let us know. We can definitely walk you through it. I don't know what that is. Can I minimize that? Okay. MyFitnessPal app. That is the second app that we need. MyFitnessPal app is where you are tracking your foods, right? We do have a video that we put together, a little video tutorial. If you haven't tracked your food before into the MyFitnessPal and need just some assistance with doing that, and we will shoot that video out to you all. We can put that in an email. So we'll follow up with the food option guide. We'll also send you the video for tracking your food in MyFitnessPal. There are some different tricks that that can help you with that in terms of changing your portion sizes. Again, if you need some assistance with any of that, we will send the video that should help, but then also you can always just kind of send us a direct message and we can meet you at a time that you're coming into the gym and just kind of show you some of those tweaks. Okay, they need to be connected. We'll verify that it's connected. If we see that it's not, we'll reach out to you to kind of make sure that you do connect those. Rashawn, you want to add anything?
No, I think what I was going to add is on the next slide about the like the verified options.
Okay, yeah, I hadn't gotten.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I didn't mean to start the video. Okay. So that video we are going to send out. Protein. For those of you who are working out, whether it's the boot camp, whether it's the CrossFit, if you're looking for ways to, well, two things. One, to help with muscle recovery, you can do a protein powder. One that we get behind that you'll hear us talk about a lot is Ascent. We like Ascent because it is a cleaner version of, there's so many protein powders out there and you get a lot of questions of which one is good, which one is the best one. This is a clean version. When we say clean, we're talking about the ingredients that are being included in this powder. So they have different flavors. We will probably recommend that you go to Vitamin Shoppe to purchase it, because Vitamin Shop has a policy that if you don't like it, you can take it back. Right? You can take an unopened, or you can take an opened package back. So if you're trying to figure out your flavors and things like that. If you are going to consume that protein powder as a recovery, so you're doing it specifically for recovery, not so much as a meal replacement, you want to get that in your system within 30 minutes after that workout. If that could be, and you may see many people do it, they'll bring their little shaker here with the powder already in it, ready to go. They'll pour the water in right after, shake it up. They'll drink it on the way out the door, drink it on the way home, trying to get it in within 30 minutes of a workout. But also, so one, for recovery, right, to aid in that recovery. But the second reason you may want to do that protein is because if you're not getting enough protein, this is an option, right? So if you see, we do the first week, we see that we're not getting enough protein in, and you're like, listen, I don't even know how I can get more in my diet, my food. I'm fine with the amount I'm eating in my food. You can do a protein shake as a meal replacement or as a snack, right? Which is one of your meals. You can have that protein shake, and just another way of making sure that you're getting enough protein in your diet. Okay, so FAQs, how do I know which HSN recipe to choose, right? How do I know which, not just HSN recipe, but how do I know which option to choose in the MyFitnessPal? Because you can put in apple, right? And you'll get 100 versions of an apple in the MyFitnessPal. Which one do I choose? Basically, you'll look for this little verification green icon. Anything with a verification green icon, what they're saying is a lot of people were in the app and they said that this is accurate. They checked it against their food and they verified and said, yep, that is the correct measurements, because you and I can go into the MyFitnessPal and add a meal or add a food item, and we can put in all of the different nutrition facts. To get a green check mark, is some people behind me has to go in and say, yep, that is accurate, that matches, they didn't put that in incorrectly. So that's just something that you can definitely look at when you type in a food. You can look for that green icon, and that lets you know that this has been verified by others, saying that the nutrition facts that were entered are accurate. So you'll want to choose the ones with the green check marks first, if it's available. A lot of the recipes that are in the Healthy Steps Nutrition, majority of those are in the app as well. And so you can search for Healthy Steps Nutrition, and it'll bring up those different recipes so that if you make one of the recipes, you can choose one of those.
And I would add, if anybody has like a recipe, like their go-to recipe that is not like an HSN recipe, you can add that to MyFitnessPal. So you can, it'll be easy to choose from the list.
Yes. I've added a few of my own along the way. Okay. Do I need to eat the exact day, or can I pick and choose what I like? So what we're referring to is in your booklet, you have a meal plan. Do you need to follow this exactly the way it is laid out? Absolutely not. You can, and nothing's wrong with that. You'll be doing it exactly, and you're going to have some results, right? But this is here to serve as a guide. You can definitely pick and choose what you want to try. If you see something that you like and it's like, I want to eat that a lot, that's going to be my go-to breakfast. You can eat that over and over and over again throughout the challenge. It's perfectly fine. I definitely like to look at the measurements here as my guide, because it's going to tell me, how much should I be eating? If it's a range like 4 to 6 ounces, for women, you're going to stay towards the 4. On the left-hand side, the men, you guys can go towards the 6. If you remember that hand food option guide, that's that, 2 pound versus 1 pound situation. So if nothing else, especially if you're doing your own thing, which is perfectly fine. If you are questioning from a measurement perspective, how much is that? This guide is going to definitely be helpful. As far as the recipes, if you go to the first page of the start of the guide, there is a link that will that you can go to that's going to give you all of the different recipes that can be found in your booklet. Do I have to weigh my food? Not a requirement. If you want to weigh your food, great. If you continue with that, if you're already weighing it, you should weigh, especially if you're weighing your food, you should weigh it pre-cooked, right? So raw meat, raw vegetables, before you actually cook it. But is it required? Absolutely not. That's why we gave you the plate method. That's why we gave you your hand measuring guide. It's definitely not a requirement. Do I have to eat the starchy carbs? Aren't carbs bad for you? Again, going back to favorable carbs versus non-favorable carbs. Our favorable carbs are going to be those non-starchy carbs. So it's going to be vegetables and some fruits. Of course, we want to limit the starchy ones. However, when we get into those complex carbs like your brown rices, your quinoas, your oats, especially if you're working out, you're going to need that, right? Because remember, carbs are fuel. Your body needs carbs. I know I did a low carb diet, and when you hear about low carb, it's really just vegetables, right? And I felt it when I tried to work out because I didn't have the energy. I was eating right, but I didn't have the energy for the workout itself. So I had to start adding some of those starchier carbs, those complex carbs back into my diet to give me the fuel that I needed for my workout. And so those are the types of things you're going to start paying attention to your body and seeing, what can I add? What type of effect does it have on my body? And tweak it accordingly. So are carbs bad? Absolutely not, because vegetables are carbs, right? Fruits are carbs. So not a bad thing, and your body needs carbs. Are there any snack bars that I can have? Yes. We swear by RX bars. RX bars, RX, so like the prescription, RX bars, they can be found at everywhere. Walmart, Kroger, Publix, everywhere. Sprouts, Whole Foods. We like it because the ingredients are on the front of the RX bars, like 4 ingredients. So it's a clean option. Then there's Larabar, which is another clean option. If you're going to go the snack bar route and it's not a Lara or it's not a RX, go ahead and make sure you're getting that in the app so that we can take a look at it and look at all the nutrients, because there are some, we have some healthier versions, some of the ones that I mentioned, and then we have some that has a lot of sugar added into it. So we want to be careful about those, but you can have a snack or what we refer to as protein bars. It's going to help you get some more proteins and carbs into your diet. Those are great for snacks, for sure. And I'm like the RX bar, I mean, it's going to give you that 40, 30, 30 snack. It's a big bar. So they also have the snack sizes, or they have like the kid sizes, which I'll eat as a snack because I think a whole RX bar is like 200 and something calories. So I'm getting more towards a meal when I really want a snack. Okay. And do you have to eat it all? No. If you're full, you're full. Stop. Stop eating. Don't overeat. I know some people, you have those that hear about that eating every 2 to 3 hours a day, and they're like, get really nervous. That doesn't mean that you're eating huge portions. You can eat small portions just throughout the day. We just want you to be consistent. But you don't feel like you have to eat it all. Eat that your body actually says eat till you're about 70, not your body says this, but research says eat to about 70% full, and then drink, sit back, because it takes about 10 minutes for your brain to catch up with your stomach. And so give yourself a little bit of time to realize, are you actually full? Because more times than not, you probably are. Okay, in closing, there are going to be some mini challenges throughout, and the first page, if you flip over, we have all of it laid out. The first mini challenge, which starts on Monday, is we want you to choose a recipe from the nutrition guide. We want you to cook that recipe. So look through there, right? Look at all the recipes that are available. Go to that link. Look at one of those recipes, something that sounds really good. Make it, take a picture, post it to the group chat. That's how you'll get points. You only have to do one. You can do more than one, but you'll get, that's how you get eligible for the win for week 1. Week 2, thinking about that plate method. And meal prep, I'm sorry, this one is geared towards meal prep. We want you to try out meal prepping, right? What does that look like for you? Take a picture of your finished product or something with the meal prepping and post it to the group chat. Week 3, as we're getting to the second half of the challenge, we want you to consistently log your food that week in the MyFitnessPal. And then week 4, when we're in that last week and it's the home run and we're kind of like, oh man, I'm ready for this challenge to be over, right? We want to engage you in the weekly group chat. Again, to be entered and eligible for that mini challenge, you have to participate, post in the group chat for those things that's requiring you to post in the group chat. And if you complete that challenge for that week, your name gets put in a drawing, whoever's completed it, and we'll pull someone and you get a prize. All right. So just weekly challenges or weekly, challenges just to kind of keep you engaged, and also application, right? Because we're talking about a lot of things, but just kind of putting what we talked about to action. Okay, you don't want to forget that last page of your book, your weekly tracker. I went through a lot of this with many of you one-on-one. You want to focus on that plate method with every single meal throughout the day. If you focus on that plate method, you can give yourself a point. We'll verify it in the app as well, so know that we're verifying these things. Also, post-recovery. Your post-recovery does not have to be a shake. It could be mobility. It could be stretching. It could be going for a walk. It's something to bring down your heart rate after a workout. So if you work out that day, do something for post-recovery and give yourself a point if you do it. Physical activity. So if you're working out, whether it's at the gym or if you're doing something on your own, give yourself a point. Stress relief. It could be meditating. It could be writing in your journal. It could be taking a bubble bath. So many things can fall under what you do for stress relief. Give yourself a point if you take out time to do something for stress relief each day. 80 ounces of water. That's the goal. If you don't hit the 80 ounces, please write down where you got. That's going to be great for yourself so that you kind of know, where you are and help you to get to where you're trying to be. 6 hours of sleep, 6+ hours of sleep, that's the goal. If you don't get 6 hours, write down how many you got so that we can see where you are and how we can help you. Maybe we need to adjust what the day looks like. And then lastly, participate in the weekly chat. So we'll have a weekly chat question each week. If you participate, you'll get a point for that week. A lot of this is honor system. Some stuff we can check. Most of it is honor system, but we trust you guys. Each week, once the week completes, take a picture and upload it to the app to us directly so that we can start tracking your points, and we'll remind you throughout the week. Okay. Lastly, the winner. Okay. It's not who's the biggest loser, right? That does definitely go into play. It's based on percentages. That's the weight loss piece of it. So that makes it a even playing field for everyone, but also we're looking at your participation. All right. That's gonna weigh heavily on who wins, or it factors in right along with your results. So please turn in these weekly. And the grand prize for this challenge is going to be cash money. Who can always use a little bit more of that, right? So we're going to give you cash as well as 1 month of ongoing coaching. Okay. So hopefully you guys are excited as we are. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I would even recommend for some of those general questions, put it in the group chat. It may be a question that someone else had, right? So please put in the group chat. We'll respond to those. If you're not comfortable sending it to the group, you can definitely send it to us directly, and we can respond to those and send those out. And then what you're seeing on this screen is some of the results for those who participated in some of our past challenges. If you follow the challenge, if you follow the instructions and be consistent, you're definitely going to see some gains. Okay. All right. Rashawn, anything you want to add?
Nothing that I want to add. I'm just excited for everybody. Really looking forward to it. Me and Joy honestly have a really good time. We're following the challenge with you guys as well. So
Yes, we
just to
are.
help keep us on point too. So I'm excited. So
All right. Remember, this will be in the room that you guys weigh in. So come in here and grab one if you want a tangible hard copy so that you can place it, somewhere where you can see it. But also we're going to upload it so that you guys can have an electronic version as well. All right. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to let you all go. Please send those questions to us. And we are excited to get started with you guys on Monday.
Thanks, Joy.
All right. We had some more to join, and we will also send out the video to everybody so you guys can come back and watch.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
awesome.